Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Cafe Enchante, and we're in Miser's Route, and apparently in Chapter 3. Look, for you, it's been like a day, well, 2, maybe. It's been weeks for me. Weeks. Because I went on vacation, and I didn't record the week before I went on vacation, and now it's been like a week since I got back almost. Like, it could very well be close to a month since I've played this. I had to, like, get ahead and get caught up on other things, and part of me doesn't want to finish this. Not because I don't want to finish the game. It's just, the game's already kind of bitch slapped me a little, and I just don't trust it. And I just want to stay happy in Miser's Route and not get fucked really hard, and I feel like it's going to fuck me hard and not in the way that would be, better than what it's going to do. Anyway, so I guess we're just going to keep going and see what happens. Alright, so anyway. Afterwards, after what I don't remember, you think it's bad when I haven't played for like a couple of days? Where I'm like, I played yesterday, I don't know what happened. This is like, I played 6 weeks ago, I don't know what happened. Anyway. Afterwards, after telling Rindo and everyone on my smartphone about the anomalies in Medeo and Bestia, Canis and Ignis returned to their own worlds to start investigating and dealing with the fissures. Right now, it seems Rindo is also busy investigating the earthquakes occurring in the human world. Due to this, guarding me at night is entirely on ill. Oh dear God, are we sure we want to do that? Ah! Sorry. It's totally not related to what's going on this. Like, I just broke one of my things. I broke things! Anyway, the threat of those fissures even happening in other worlds. Fissure! Dangerous wormholes that scatter ash and attempt to swallow and annihilate the surrounding area. They all seem to be connected to Miser's World. Miser's World. Miser's World. We're going to Miser's World. It's like Elmo's World? That's what I was thinking. Despite maybe holding the key to them, Miser, yet again today, didn't come to the shop. Several days passed after that. I feel like this is like what we've been doing this whole entire time, and his route is like several days have passed, several days have passed, several days. Anyway, it's been several days again. Even after Ignis and Canis returned to their homelands, with no change, Miser didn't come. Only the anomalies we call earthquakes continued to pass. But earthquakes happen sometimes. I mean, I guess if you're not used to them, but I'm assuming that we've had earthquakes before, so. The anomalies we called earthquakes. Woo, these earthquakes sound terrifying. Like, right. The only one who would always come to the shop every day to deliciously drink coffee. Okay. Who would talk casually, watching over my development, not seeing him for all this time, really is sad. That was an awkwardly weird sentence. Did it feel awkwardly weird to you, or is it just me? Hey, are you okay? Maybe you should take a rest from work. Also, I don't remember the voices. It's been like a month. So, I can't even eat. After healing his wounds and coming to help again, I end up being cared for by Karya. Thank you, Karya. But Canis and Ignis come back once in a while, and this is their place to relax. In place of those two... Fucking drove me. Oh... You're like that side character I just hate. I love hating you, though. So it makes it pleasant. And Venia, I love it when you give me that bitch face. God, you're gorgeous. I love you. Anyway. Even my bro is having trouble calming down the demon beasts. Canis is also prioritizing the rescue of fairies. That will require his undivided attention for some time. As intermediaries for information, Dromi and Venia also come to Enchante at regular intervals. And almost every day, without sleeping at night, Il has been guarding me. Not seeing him for all this time, it's also concerning. To pull myself together, I lightly slap my cheeks. The gate... No, it's not. The bell on the front door rings. Who could it be? Maybe Rindo? In that case, I need to greet him properly, so I fix my uniform and straighten my back. It's Mikado. Oh, no, it's this fucker. I was like, everybody else is sending intermediaries, so I was like, you know, Mikado would have been Rindo's intermediary. But no, anyway. Asmodeus is basically fucking Dromi, so they have the same voice now. Whatever. It's been some time, my bride. I'm sure you were lonely while I was gone. We'll try to make them slightly different. Again, I don't remember the voices. I'm doing the best I can, so. If it was really different from the last part to this, it's because, again, it's been like a fucking month. Our shop is actually just closed up for the day. In front of me, Karya forcefully closes the door and shuts out the dark-skinned guest. That sounds rude. I mean, that just is phrased totally weirdly wrong. What are you doing? You're closing shop now? Are you not serious about running your business? If you would separate me from my bride, unlike last time, I will show no mercy. Shut up. Be quiet and go home. You're pure evil. Karya goes to freeze the door to lock it shut, but... Karya? I know why you'd want to shut him out, but... Me and the Demon King over here have something important to talk about, so could you let us in? He couldn't refuse Rindo's request, even though he was with Asmodeus. He still felt indebted to him, so he let him in the shop. Rindo's like, could you let me in? No. But why? Because you're with that fucker! He tried to kidnap me! So, Rindo? Why is Asmodeus here? I heard he was arrested at the GPM on charges of human kidnapping. Well, for one, Asmodeus here has some important information about the current matter. And, well, reluctantly on my part, he ended up getting a waiver to leave as an exemption. What?! The demon world was in a terrible situation, so we can't really make it any worse. Rindo says this to put us at ease, but... I see. So this is my bride's shop. While the interior isn't awful, seems somewhat lacking in presentation. Very well. In that case, I shall gift you a golden Asmodeus statue from my castle. Oh yeah, because that's going to bring the place down a few notches. When I'm away, admire my statue as much as you'd like to stave away your loneliness. Okay, I kind of absolutely love how fucking full of himself he is. He's fun. I'll pass. Naturally, for both myself and everyone else, his being here gives us mixed feelings. But he doesn't notice at all. He casually picks up a menu that was sitting on the table. Now then, my bride, I'd like to place a so-called order. I will take your recommendation. After you prepare it with love and devotion, I will say, "Ah," and you feed it to my mouth. As he makes such an absurd order... Please leave. With a sad voice, Il shows his rejection. It's just really funny to me. Every once in a while, it dawns on me that, like, Il and Dante, same VA. Two totally different. They just... I mean, I read them totally different, but it's just... anyway. What? Huh? Quite the unexpected remark. I double take alone with Karya and Rindo. I think it's supposed to be along with Karya and Rindo. Il? Normally he shows no hostility or wariness, no matter who it is. What could this be so suddenly? Il, with a trembling voice, reveals his reason. You were the one who kidnapped Spacey. You caused a change in Miser, and he stopped coming to Enchante. If Miser never comes back again, and is separated from her, Il is left hanging his head in a solemn despair. Hey, you! What do you think after seeing that? It pains my heart. I bet. Well, how about you bring it down a level and actually participate in the meeting? Well, how about you bringing it down a level and actually participating in the meeting? Okay. Okay, that's... right. Anyway. Yes, I understand. After consoling Il and somehow getting him to agree to letting Asmodeus join us... Hey, look! I told you about... I just knew Mikado was gonna be here somewhere. I miss you little son of a bitch. I think... Okay. Venia and Solitus are my favorite side characters that I want to route with. Like, I love you too. Take you home with me. But Mikado is like my favorite side character just for the purpose of existing, where you're like, I don't want to date you because you have a stuffed doll that you're whatever. But I don't want that. I just like you around. I just like the fact that you exist. I just enjoy him existing. And Dromi's the one I want to punt into fucking the netherworld. Asmodeus is kind of enjoyable. Annoying, but enjoyable. What are you doing? Why are you screaming? The fuck are you? What is happening here? I lost a bird. I can hear him, but I can't see him. I see you! Where the fuck's the other one? What are you doing? Weirdos. Anyway.
Right. It seems your thinking is about the same as my hypothesis.
Later, Mikado visits the shop after a while and meets up with us. We talk about what we're doing currently and what happened between us.
The self-proclaimed Demon King, Miser Rex. The world he comes from is, without mistake, what was recently in other worlds, as well as Amasaki Island in the demon world. Beyond those fissure-type wormholes, I can say this with confidence. The reason he was able to close the fissures at Amasaki Island is because he could intervene on what opened from his own homeland, I would assume.
They're all fundamentally called wormholes, so it makes it a little hard to distinguish. In that case, we could definitely refer to these as fissures, and perhaps we should unify our naming of them as such. So the dangerous tears in space that connect to Miser's world and annihilate everything around them are fissures. And the normal wormholes that connect to other worlds like Bestia will continue to be called wormholes. Yes, I believe that would be best. At our exchange, Mikado, Rindo, and everyone also nod in agreement.
However, although we know his location, we can't be completely happy with this, can we?
Huh? You heard about the fissures that keep repeating out in Bestia and Medio, right? Yeah, Dromi and everyone talked about it.
Also, I don't mean to interrupt, but this has also been in the area of my dominion. In fact, in the demon world, they occur at an even more dangerous scale. For a little while now, these fissures, as you call them, were occurring with a very strange frequency in the demon world. One after another, villages and regions would vanish completely.
It seems this is the reason... It seems this is the reason why Asmodeus was motivated to plot an invasion of the human world.
In each of your worlds, wormholes evolved into fissures. And it wouldn't be strange if such anomalies began to occur in the present human world. Almost as a precursor to that, the occurrences of wormholes have continued in the human world since the other day.
Il, now in his calm, usual manner, suggested to be strange that these anomalies we're discussing haven't already happened. If these fissures start appearing around our planet, like in all the other worlds, it could really be the end of our world.
That's why, personal feelings aside, I want to contact Miser as a resident of that world. Even if we know he's beyond the fissures and just getting close turns you to ash.
Mikado makes a surrendering gesture, saying he presently has no solutions. The meeting ends for the time being. Rindo, along with Mikado, stuffs Asmodeus into a car, and after making preparations to leave, as he tries to get into the driver's seat, I stop him. Rindo, thank you very much for today. There are still a lot of mysteries about Miser, but after hearing from specialists, I think my feelings are more positive now. At least, a little bit. Sure, but it's too early to thank me. We need to come up with a way to capture Miser and drag him out in front of you. We have to make him take responsibility for causing you to make such a sad face, right? How very like Rindo. He always enjoyed jabbing Miser with a dose of sarcasm. But I'm less sad and more frustrated. I'm frustrated? Yeah, Miser always... He would come to my shop every day, after all. so I could tell him what I wanted any time. That's what I thought anyway. About the lie he mentioned. About wanting to spend more time together. Things of the heart. I wouldn't be able to say it with my own voice. I told myself that he comes every day, that I'll be able to tell him at any time. With these understandings as the reason, I was entrusting everything to Miser. But now, because I can't see Miser, I can see how much I was depending on him to visit. It's really quite painful. I see. That's why, if I get to see him again, I wouldn't hesitate to say everything. What I want to know, what I want him to tell me, what I want to tell him now. Several more days passed after that. A slight moonlight pours over the night. Being careful not to Kororo up. I'm assuming be careful not to wake Kororo up. Unable to sleep, late at night, I stand quietly at the counter. Elle was guarding me yet again tonight, but perhaps out of caring for my feelings. After I promised to call right away if anything happened, he's now waiting on standby in the backyard, ready to rush into the shop if needed. Well, I'm grateful to him. Miser didn't come again today. Saying this, I look down at my hands. There is Miser's coffee cup, returned after the GPM investigation ended. My face reflecting in the blackness inside is gloomy. This pattern has been the same for days. I think maybe today Miser will come to visit and pump myself up to run the shop. Then at night, after he hasn't come, I get depressed and fall asleep. Miser not coming to the shop really is sad. Yeah, if he did come back... Bert, stop, please! I'll tell him everything I couldn't while he was gone. That's right, and I'm sure Miser would smile like always. What is your deal? Why are you screaming? Please stop screaming, it's really annoying. It's not that ugly shrieking you do, like, that ugly yell that you do, but, like, that shrieking is too much. Hi, you're cute, I know, I love you. You can play nice without screaming at the birds outside. Listen to Little Bird, he's being nice. Why are you just making that annoying, like, scream? Like, God. The birds outside don't want to talk to you. And then... As I talk to myself, I trail off and let out a light sigh. While thinking about him, I naturally poured into his coffee cup coffee. But I don't feel like drinking it. All I do is stare intently as it sways on the counter. I just want him to, like, magically show up. This is what I'm waiting for. See, I get that. She's like, every day I'm like, he'll show up today! And then he doesn't, and she's like, oh. I get it, because, like, every day I'm like, not every day, but, like, right now you're like, and this is where he just magically shows up, and you're like, oh! But it's not going to happen. All I do is stare intently as it sways on the counter. Okay, run that. Oh. If you'd like to know our relationship, she's a cafe owner and I'm a customer. However, if I speak from my personal feelings, to me, across other worlds, through every world out there, she's the most important woman to me. She's my light, my warmth, the one who gave me a place to be. I forgot he said this and I'm gonna cry now. Thanks a lot, game. We miss him so much. Where is our beautiful boy? So, at the very least, I wouldn't make a stupid mistake like giving her to the likes of you. The most important... I don't know what kind of feeling he put into those words, but if he sees my existence as impactful enough to say something like that, I want to see him. I want him to come see me. Wishing for something like that might be selfish. To my prayer... A fissure before my eyes answers. It's like I heard the crack and I'm like, whoa. Oh, not chapter 4 still, okay. There. That should be all the new graves. Seriously, what's going on? Aren't there too many guests from other worlds falling here lately? I can't show them hospitality or even care for them. I look at my hands. Of course they still have a terrible form. At least a section. I've managed to recover that, but it'll be a while before my whole body returns. And no, To be precise, returns? Yeah, right. That one's the fake. This one's real. Such self-derision escapes my lips. Also, even if I imitate a human form again, what would it change about this situation? In the end, I might just be afraid of returning to Enchante. I'm sure everyone has realized the lie I was telling. Until now, I thought I could maintain this form as long as I abided by the conditions. No! Stop! 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 A sudden manifestation. I barely avoided even turning her into ash. Again, if the same thing happens again at Enchante, that would... Just imagining it's far too terrifying. And the trigger for that was... this guy. From a fissure, and no, it appeared from this world, that mysterious young man. So even Miser doesn't know who he is? Interesting, okay. Even though this world shouldn't have any residents but me. After that, I tried searching for his whereabouts. But as I imagined, no matter how much I searched this ashen land, I can't see so much as a shadow of him. Interesting. However, if he does appear again, then the same thing would occur. I weighed my thoughts. In such a dangerous situation, I couldn't return to Enchante. But my heart is opposite of my own warning. I want to go back to Enchante. It's impossible. And the more I think, the harder it is to stop. I miss it so much. I just can't bear it. And the days I spent at that shop. And more than anything, the woman there is probably waiting for me. I am! Along with her too, but like, we're all just waiting. What are you doing to me? And the most in the world. The most important person. I want to see her. I just want to go see her. As I was thinking this, for just a second, I smelled something that made me nostalgic. I thought it was my imagination, but the scent is... Guided by the scent that drifted to me again, I tread the ash, thinking it couldn't be so. This is strange. It can't be. In this world, that scent shouldn't exist. Okay, so like when we came to here, I'm like, the fissure shows us Miser because that's what we wanted, or it was going to show us Mystery Man. A sweet yet bitter scent. Why? How? I walk faster and up ahead, and there's a small fissure that opened. Like the boundary of the world is tearing. And we're on the other side. Hey! It's like FaceTime, but dangerous. He's like, coffee, and she's like, Miser. That was like the night before when I met that mysterious young man. The spectacle is an exact repetition. A fissure that opened in the air. Blowing from in is a terrible, rough, lukewarm wind. Terribly rough, sorry. But strangely, that fissure doesn't cause the annihilation that's occurred in other worlds. It simply floats there as though connecting me to something. So if we see Miser through this, I'm wondering, because it's like, oh, it's not destroying the world like it does in other things. So, and you know that the young man, right, the mystery dude, has something to do with Miser and like that world and like whatever, and like Miser doesn't know who he is. So I'm wondering if what we're thinking, or like even what Miser maybe it's because Miser wanted it, not because we wanted it, that he opens this fissure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what role he plays, but I'm wondering if, like, because that's why it's like, hey, that fissure opened and shit gets destroyed. No, it's not actually destroying anything because Mystery Man's, like, protecting it. Like, even though because I feel like that his perspective is what we've read a couple of times. Of like, God, he doesn't come back. Ugh, jackass. Like, he doesn't even hear me when I talk to him. Like, because Miser has no idea he's there. So, like, whoever he is... Even though it seems like he's like, fucking Miser, whatever. That asshole. Like, maybe he actually does give a shit. Maybe they're like, I mean, who knows? They related somehow? I mean, who knows? But you know what I mean? Like, maybe he does. He's like, fine, I guess I'll just let you, like, see your girlfriend, whatever, dude. Like, I don't know. Anyway. It simply floats there as though connecting me to something. It might be dangerous. Naturally, I'd feel that way. However, the yearning for the mere possibility makes me step forward without any hesitation. Spacey? There's no mistake. I would never mistake it. The voice leaking from beyond the fissure. Miser? Oh, and he's scary, Miser. Oh, but it's okay. We still love you anyway, even though you're scary. Both of our voices cut through the wind. The sound is a kiss crossing the fissure. Oh, yeah, I like how you did that game. What a surprise. Really. His laughing voice that spills through is mixed with both surprise and joy. His form hasn't changed since we parted in the demon world, but this way of talking, there's no mistake. It's him, the one I've been wanting to see. Miser's big body shakes, and he sighs from a mouth I can't see. But this is where it's hard. He comes from a world where everything he touches turns to ash and ruin. So he's basically in, like, hell. I mean, it's like your own prison. You can't go anywhere. Anybody that falls in there just dies within... So we can't be with him. This is not gonna end well. The happy ending is gonna be some kind of, like, you call this happy? The fuck is that bullshit? That's just what's gonna happen. It's not gonna be like, hey, somehow, like, Mikado made a fit and then we cured you and look, now you're normal and you don't have to... Everyone's not gonna die if they're near you. Awesome! It's not gonna be like that, which is the way it fucking should be. Even though you're like, that's kind of like a cheap-ass cop-out, but it's okay! Because I want my happy ending, so I don't give a crap if you cheap-ass cop-out me. That's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna do something else where you're like, oh, sure, the fuck is this bullshit? Where's my cheap-ass cop-out happy ending? That's what I want. Damn it! Anyway. You know, we always tell you, or maybe I do, that I'm the last boss. You call us amazing. But you're the amazing one to bring me such a miracle. Oh, that's me. I was shocked too. What is it? You sound like you're about to cry. Because my regular customer who would come visit me every day just stopped showing up completely. Of course, I'd be worried, right? You still think of me as a regular customer at Enchante? Even knowing I was lying, even after showing my terrible form. Of course I do. After all, your existence is already part of my daily life, Miser. If you weren't nearby, I just can't find peace. Of course, there are loads of things I want to ask about you. But more importantly, I wonder how you're doing now. I wondered things like that every single day. So, no matter what shape you take, I'm just happy to see you again. Although I do miss your pretty face, but like, whatevs, I missed you. Like, doesn't matter. We loved Rindo when he was like a sticky oil monster, right? Like, whatevs. Poor fucking Rindo. I feel like he got a short end of a stick. You're like, you didn't want to be, and then you were, and like, okay. Miser, where are you right now? Is that really your... Yeah, this is my world. The real one. Miser speaks softly. His scary voice. It's like muscly underneath. But also kind of... Okay. So like, don't hate me for this, but doesn't he look kind of like a slightly demonic Groot? Like, because like the red, I suppose you're at first you're like looking and you're like, it's kind of like muscly, but you're like, but it actually kind of looks like tree. And then he just reminds me of Groot. Like a slightly, like he's a demonic version of Groot. I can't really be afraid of you. Because one, you're Miser. And two, you just kind of look like Groot. And no one's scared of Groot. He's great. So like, I can't help it. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. It was something in the back of my mind that I hadn't really picked up on until like looking now. And I'm like, yeah, nope, it's Groot. That's... Okay. The form he takes in front of me now really is his true form. His usual form is nothing but a temporary vessel restraining the power that turned the Demon King castle to ash. The power operates outside his will, weathering all around him indiscriminately. Life, attacks, even worlds. Before him, everything turns to ash. Such an amazing power can't be held back easily. That's why Miser returns to his world every night, as he needs to return to his true form. In his original world, he's forced to take that form. During that time, he continues using magic on himself to imitate human form again. Passing through the gate to the human world after this, Miser adorns his usual form. That's the mechanism. However, this mimicry isn't all... I don't know why I was like, mimicry? I'm like, no, it's mimicry. I don't know why my brain was reading it as mimicry, and then I was like, mimicry is... Yeah, mimicry. That's a fucking word that we're aware of, Spacey. Jesus. I don't know why my brain... Okay. Look, my brain was like, it's mimicry, stupid, but my eyes were like, what? You know what it is? I saw the cry part first. And I saw the cry, and then I saw the mimicry, and I was like, duh. Wow. Fucking moron moment there. Sorry. It's fucking hilarious. It is. When you look at that word, I see the cry first, because the Y attracts my eyeballs. Because the me part is too much that the Y stands out. So I don't know why my eye was drawn to that first, and then I backwards read the word, which then did not translate into my brain as mimicry. Okay. Alright. Wow. Jesus. However, this mimicry isn't all powerful, and it does have a time limit. Mimicry. Mimicry. Mimicry? Just laughing at myself so much. Magic used by Miser to hold back the ashen power and his strange form. By using this magic and traveling to another world, he takes the usual form of Miser. However, there is a time limit to how long he can keep his form. And then Mystery Man fucked him up. His true form appeared last time because the day's time limit of 2100 was approaching. He should have still had about an hour's time, but the mysterious young man's calling sped up the removal of his mimicry. The reason Miser can't live in Enchante and why he couldn't guard me at night was all because of that. And see, like, so the mysterious young man showing up and the controlling of the power, like, but Miser doesn't know who he is. It's interesting. That's going to be the fun part to figure out. So that was the reason. After hearing it all, I tell him that Canis and everyone along with the demons were all safe. He breathes a sigh of relief, but his voice is tinted with regret. After losing so much control of my power, it'll take a bit to return to my usual form. So, I'm stuck in this weird body, the one that almost destroyed the demon world for a while. The danger this power poses if it happens to go out of control. I understood that, yet I kept quiet. I thought if you found out with going to Enchante, maybe I wouldn't see you anymore. Isn't that too selfish? He laughs, but it's so sad. Miser's about to say more, but I stop him. And next to the fissure, being careful not to spill what's sitting on the counter, I move it to where he could see it through the fissure. Here you go. Is that coffee? Yeah, the one you said was delicious every time you drank it. That blend. After all, Miser, I know you really love coffee. And I'm sure it was tough not being able to drink it lately. Oh, but you have that power of yours, so you can't take it. I suddenly remember that, but Miser slowly shakes his head. I'm sure it'll be fine. That cup is special after all. With a look of nervousness, he extends his hand towards the fissure. Then, just the part of his hand coming through the fissure changes into his usual fingertips. Oh, that's actually kind of cute! Oh, it's like his normal... Oh. But see? He's got... Those are like the same fingernails, like... through the thing. But was it him or was it Mysterious Man? Because they're like... They're like the same type of being, whatever they are. You know what I mean? But it's interesting that he's got the scary form, but yet the Mysterious Man kind of was more like Miser when he's in a sort of kind of human demon form. Anyway. He gently lifts the cup to take it back into the fissure. As he said, even in a world where all becomes ash, that cup won't change form. It's just there, held in Miser's hand. Are you not afraid of me? Back then, at the shop, and now, this terrible form of mine that changes everything to ash. Changes everything to ash. True, that's a fearsome power, but the you that you are now, and the you at Enchante, they're both Miser to me. That's why, despite knowing nothing, well, I don't really know nothing, anyway, I wouldn't be afraid of you. Even now, the Miser Rex I like is just a kind demon king who loves coffee. I really am no match for you. Ever since then, you've done nothing but save me. Miser's arm trembles so much he could drop the cup if he eases up. Since then? It was this, what you said before. Oh, I miss your beautiful face! Then, what are the conditions for coffee to become your favorite? That's a secret. My favorite, best coffee. Wait, is that... Before I can ask him the meaning, the fissure in space lets out a whine. I'm sure that's a sign that it's about to start closing. Before the moment disappears completely, Miser begins to raise his voice. I'll tell you everything about me and this world. The next time I ring the bell in Enchante, I won't hide anything from you or that little counter of yours where you always make me feel like I belong. It's a promise that he'll come back to Enchante with a smile. Yeah! At that counter, I have lots of things to talk to you about too. So, I'll be awaiting your next visit. Trusting in that promise, I say this with a smile, and from the gap in the fissure, Miser's about to disappear from sight. Yes, wait for me, my dear Spacey. He declares this with a soft voice. I love you! Never mind. You scream. He's like, what? I thought the thing was gonna close, and now it's still open, and this is awkward. Yeah, just a little awkward. Awesome. I love you, Miser! What? Shit. Where you say, I love you, after it closes, and Ill's like, wait, what? Thought you loved Miser. I was talking to him, damn it! And the fissure closes slowly, and cruelly and mercilessly severing my connection to her. In my hand, much like when I met her, the cup is safe, with the coffee inside. How can he drink it? He doesn't really have a mouth. Before the contents turn to ash, I take a sip of it with my obscured mouth. Okay, it's just hidden. I don't even know where it is exactly. This really is it. For me, and the best cup. I know it's self-interest on my part, despite just realizing how dangerous and hideous I am. Out of sheer excitement, I promised to go back to Enchante. I know, for me, how foolish that choice was. But at least one last time, I want to see her at the shop, and at least part ways with her properly. No! See, game, fuck you! We're only like halfway through his route, but it's like so heartrending. Like, God damn you! The last time, huh? If I didn't have this form, this power, I could be with her as much as I like. See, that's the happy ending I want! If I didn't have this form and this power, right! Let's find a way to get rid of it! But the game's not like that. This game is like a big punch in the face. You think it's gonna be happy and fluffy and cute, and it's really not. I don't like it. I don't like the ones that make me feel like, oh, at the end. Like, I don't know. I want the ones with the happy endings. Like, sure, there could be some drama and angst in the middle, but I want the ending to be like super sugary, goddamn bullshit happy, where you're like, fuck you, that's bullshit. Happily ever after fairy tale bullshit. That's what I want. I want the fairy tale bullshit. So when you're feeling bitter, you're like, no, shit like that doesn't happen in the real world, whatever. But like, that's what you want, because shit like that doesn't happen in the real world. Instead of this angsty bullshit where you're like, oh, so this is it? That's what I don't know. Give me some happy, fluffy crap. Damn it, I don't want to feel. I want to feel happy. Like I fucking just, like, licked a goddamn rainbow. That's what I want. This game is not going to give it to me. With her making this coffee for me, I've become so terribly greedy. And my feelings for Spacey won't stop welling up. And those little feelings that live deep in my chest. And they warm my heart. I also hate that in Miser's route, Miser's not here. This is like fucking Chojiro's route in fucking Nightshade, where you were like, so we're in love with Chojiro, but he's never fucking around? He's not even in his own route? Awesome. That's like Miser's route. We're just like pining over Miser, and Miser's not even in his own fucking route. I fucking hate that too! It makes me desire anything and everything. And that's why I want to go back. Back to when I was still human. When I utter something I'd given up on tens of thousands of years ago. Why? A voice reaches me. At first I thought it was the wind, but I was wrong. Why? It's muffled, but it's clearly the voice of someone. I'm dumbfounded with surprise at a tone that shouldn't exist in this world. Who's there? I look around, but I see nothing besides grave markers and storms of ash. And the voice remains unchanged, as though resounding through space to me. Even I want to see her. 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 Like, I want to see her. I want to see her. I want to see her. It's not even a sentence. It's just one word. I did my best to reach out to her. To save her. I even helped you. Dark feelings fall. And yet, my hand was slapped away. And you reach your hand to her again. It's unfair. Why only me? Yeah, whoever Mysterious Man is, he is like a broody bitch. Why only you? What are you talking about? I return a question to Voice's owner, and it seems my response was meaningless. For some reason, the voice only speaks of dark hatred for me. And now you know why you're stuck in this. A massive earthquake that shouldn't exist in this world shakes my footing. If you curse that body so much, give it to me, miser. What? Yeah, give him the body and then you could be human and come back. It'll be great. It's not how it's gonna work. Did he just body snatch us? I don't like this. I don't like this. This is not going. I don't want to do this anymore. Can we stop? Can we just not? A night passes after my chance meeting with Miser through the fissure. That's a relief. It wasn't a dream. I gaze at the counter that was missing one cup and feel okay. Last night it was real. I saw Miser. Of course, there's still many mysteries and questions relating to him and the anomalies in the other worlds now, but for now, just that fact, it gives me a sense that the unease swirling inside me is reduced a little bit. When I tell everyone about what happened last night, their mood is calmer than before, too. I see you're more cheerful. Yes, thanks to that. Although I think it's simple-minded of me. That's not true. You were just happy about seeing Miser, right? We were worried about Miser too, to be honest. About Miser too. To be honest, I'm relieved. When Candace and company get back, we need to tell them about this, right? Corrado seems happy too, slapping his tail fins on the table in a cheery rhythm. Oh, right. Il left for the GPM early this morning, but he was happy to hear my story, too. He left humming a tune. Il went to help that weirdo today, if I recall, right? Yeah, to tell the truth, from a little while back, Mikado was thinking this out. By combining Il's magic with GPM technology, if a big fissure occurs in the human world, Apparently it might be possible to figure out the location ahead of time. Karia grunts at this notion. Okay, I can't read today. It would be best if such a fissure didn't occur, though. I'll pick up Il and bring him back by tonight, so don't worry about your night guard. Yes, thank you very much. Just then, there's a vibration sound from Rindo's pocket, notifying of an incoming call. Rindo says sorry for interrupting, presses the accept call button. Then...
Hello? To the Enchante owner of Rindo 2, are you doing well? I'm in an amazing mood, full of ecstasy at the super rare non-human fallen angel being here as a temporary assistant. Right now, I could sneakily pull a feather from his back. He wouldn't notice, right?
Speak of the devil, as they say. Probably because he wants to talk to us all, Rindo would quickly switch to speaker mode. What is it, Mikado? Did something happen to Il after he got over there?
No, this is separate. I have a little request for you aside from requesting his cooperation.
For me?
Yes, I heard from Rindo and Il that you were able to see Miser. Perhaps Miser's presence left some influence on Enchante where you are, and the fissures seem to occur there easily. So, if a similar phenomenon occurs again... If a fissure appears again, I'd also like to observe the response.
Are you saying you want to stay here now?
I'm moving in.
According to his explanation, he completed the analysis of Miser's coffee cup data that I had lent him before, and identified the same compounds from the ash that had remained on Asmodeus' arm. In other words, those compounds should be related to Miser himself, or his world. So he wants to input that compound data into special devices and install them around the Enchante Gate and other places. If the fissures in space occur, and if the same compounds enter from them, in response, the main device at GPM will activate. It would automatically collect useful data for predicting fissure locations. That's how it works. In addition, those devices also have a function of recording sound from around them. With that, sounds that signal a fissure opening or Miser's voice could be heard, etc. Not just the atmosphere, it would allow thorough investigation of every possible clue. That's about everything. Mikado claps his hand on the other end.
Starting now, those devices. Or more like, I've already given them to my assistant and he's heading over. Do you mind if he installs them around Enchante when he arrives?
Your assistant? Could he mean the hooded man I met at the GPM before? From what I heard, it seems like he knows most of our circumstances here. And then I shouldn't have a reason to refuse. Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks!
With an energetic announcement of gratitude, Mikado hangs up the call. It seems like we're moving forward little by little.
Yeah, with everything happening in other worlds too, I hope it's all taken care of soon.
After that, Rindo returned to the GPM. I'm sure I'm tired. During that time, Karia and Kuroto stayed with me. Oh, you're Mr. Assistant, right? I talked to Mikado about the plan, so please feel free... Affirmative. Then I shall install the devices in suitable locations on all floors. I don't remember the voice we gave him. And the voice he had a Solitist doesn't really make a difference, because, whatever. He seems really dutiful. Next to that excitable Mikado, I think he makes a good balance. The assistant goes all around all the rooms and halls installing the devices for Mikado. After that, without any particular notice, he leaves the shop. Karia also goes back home before nightfall. As though changing places with him, Il returns from the GPM to work as my night guard. With that, a rather busy day ends, right when it's about to hit 2200. In my own room, I reflect on the day's events as I hold Kuroto. He said it would take some time for him to return to human form. Maybe Miser will come visit after about 3 days? This time, Kuroto makes a positive cry of agreement, rather than consolation. After I pet Kuroto, I change my clothes to sleep when... a rather intense sound rings from outside. Kyu! What was that sound? Kuroto's like, Kyu! It's what he just fucking said. Il should be standing in front of my room guarding me. Il, did something happen? I get curious and try calling to him through the door. Oh god. Il? I get a weird feeling when he doesn't reply, so I try calling again.
Is something the matter? Do you need something from me?
This time he immediately replies to me through the door. Yeah, I was just a bit curious about that big sound.
While embarrassing, at the floor below, I perceived a strange sound from near the shop gate. In surprise, I ended up losing my posture.
What? From the gate?
Yes, I tried searching, and this magic power and presence is without mistake, Miser.
Sorry. Miser? But he said it would take time for him to go back to normal. Oh no, it's not him though! And it's dangerous at night, so we always set the gate to closed.
With Miser's skill, it wouldn't be strange for him to shorten the time a bit.
Along with the plate, he shouldn't be able to forcibly open it. Il says this somewhat vacantly.
Seeing how he's returned, please go to greet him. I'll remain on standby in my room.
This is not Miser though, we know it's not. Without waiting for my reply, it seems he left the front of my room. If Miser came back, Il should want to see him too. After all, he was waiting for him to visit every day. Maybe he heard our conversation last night and he's being considerate? In that case, I don't want to disregard his consideration. And I really want to go see Miser as soon as he comes back, too. Oh, also, I should make coffee for him again. Cororo, I'll be going for a bit. Pew! Holding back my impatience, I head straight for the room at the gate. This isn't gonna go good. The one called Il held a conversation through the door with Spacey. After finishing the conversation, he immediately moves to the second floor. Okay, I thought maybe we were supposed to be, maybe we're just reading this normal. Anyway, there, without hesitation, he enters his objective room.
No changes?
Oh. The true angels with pure white wings on their backs under his command nod in silence. In the center of the room, spread on the floor, a small pool of blood. What? A certain individual was restrained. His limbs and neck included. His whole body tangled up in threads of light stretching from thin air. Is this really Il? Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, that didn't, okay. It seemed kind of weird of Il's like, oh yeah, it sounds like Miser's back. And you're like, that? Really? Like, she's like, oh, maybe he's being considerate. I'm like, it seems a little odd. This makes sense. Confirmed manipulation of Enchante owner. Removing vocal cord imitation effect. The man who called himself Il dispels all of his imitation spells that were hiding his true identity. And the real Il knows the name of the imposter.
Solitus, what did you do to her?
Despite the threads constricting his throat, Il utters the name of the angel before him. We get to see Solitus again. Okay, so the only thing good about this route is we get to see Solitus again. And Venia. Miser's not in his own route, and that sucks, and this is not going to go well. But, like, hey! The gang's all here! Do not worry, Apostle of Judgment. This individual has no malicious intent. I simply guided her to the gate due to that location's superior soundproofing, which keeps that space suitably isolated. A temporary measure to prevent her from perceiving the recovery of you. However, saying this, Solitus makes an addition as though warning Il. That applies if you do not resist, that is. If Il resists, he can't guarantee the safety of Spacey, is what it means. Although, it would be unthinkable for you to resist a compulsory command from my spear. I mean, and we all know he's Mr. Assistant, so setting shit up, obviously. Despite indifferently speaking of his objective to Il, this apostle is the symbol of fear. The being also called the right hand of God, to think they would meet in the human world. Rather, oh, poor Il wants to be here, though. He's happy with his Otome games, don't take them from me! To think he'd be attacked. Solitus made use of the request from Mikado to install the devices. to hide Rosarios for spatial teleportation in various places. Using those, he made his move to recover Il. It's interesting that he's doing this because it's like, you know, in everyone else's route, like all the other people, their bullshit, like that, their bullshit, like all their bullshit doesn't exist. So like, Il never had to deal with Solitus's bullshit until you're in his route and then Solitus finds him, despite the fact that Solitus was always lurking around and like, you know, whatever. But this never happened, and now it's like, oh, now it's happening. Well, what the fuck? It was a complete surprise attack. Il desperately tries to keep breathing in frustration at his failure to perceive it. And now we return to heaven, Apostle of Judgment. Your reconnection can wait for later. You must meet with God once again. The heavenly world now faces an unprecedented crisis. To oppose this crisis, the power of your true form is required. Reconnection. Original form. Il instantly understands this meaning, and his face goes pale. At the same time that Il tries to somehow squeeze out a voice. Redeploying spell, commencing teleportation via wormhole to the heavenly world. Il's figure, along with Solitus and the other angels, are all engulfed in rising light and vanish. And then we're like waiting by the gate and there's nothing there. And we're like, the fuck, Il? Where'd Il go? And now Il's been kidnapped. We're a little under time, but this is a perfect place, I guess, to wrap it up so we don't go too far over. It's a good spot. So I'm going to stop here, even though we're a few minutes under, and we'll just continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.